Welcome to the quiet storm, where all you have to do is listen. Tonight, this isn't about lovers, it's about friends, or at least who you thought was a friend. Because losing a friendship doesn't always come with a fight. Sometimes it comes with silence, and somehow the silence is louder. You ever sit back and realize, I don't think this is what I thought it was? No argument, no betrayal you can prove, no dramatic ending, just a shift, a coldness, a distance that slowly became permanent. And the hardest part, they still kind of act like they're there. They still text sometimes, still view your stories, still pop up just enough to keep the title, but not enough to keep the connection. That's a different kind of hurt because now you're confused. Are we friends? Are we not? Did I do something? Or did something change in them? Sometimes people don't leave your life, they just reposition you. They keep you attached, but emotionally separated. Close enough to access you, far enough not to invest in you. That will mess with your head because you remember how it started. You remember the laughs, the late nights, the plans, that we're going to do this forever conversations. You built something. And now it feels like you're the only one maintaining it. The distance didn't just happen overnight, it crept in. Replies got shorter, plans got canceled, energy got weird. And every time you felt it, you ignored it because you didn't want to believe it. You don't grieve friendships the same way you grieve relationships. There's no closure conversation most of the time. No, we need to talk. It just fades. And one day you look up and realize, I don't really have them like I did anymore. That realization is heavy because friendships are supposed to feel safe. They're supposed to feel mutual. But sometimes you were just convenient. You were the listener, the supporter, the hype person, the ride or die when they needed one. But when it came to you, it was silence, distance, excuses. And what hurts is not even the space, it's the imbalance. It's realizing you would have never treated them the way they're treating you now. You wouldn't have gone quiet without explanation. You wouldn't have let pride build a wall. You wouldn't have let ego interrupt loyalty. But they did. And sometimes people outgrow the version of you that benefits them the most. When you start evolving, when you stop overextending, when you start setting boundaries, the dynamic changes. And not everyone likes the healed version of you. Some people prefer you accessible, available, always there, no questions asked. But the moment you require reciprocity, now the energy shifts. And here's the quiet truth. Some friendships were only meant for a season. You started something real. It was genuine, it was necessary, but it wasn't permanent. And that doesn't mean it was fake. It just means it expired. We don't talk enough about expired friendships. How can you sit in a room with someone who used to feel like home? And now it feels like small talk. How the laughter doesn't hit the same. How the connection feels forced. How the silence between you is no longer comfortable. It's loud and you feel it, but nobody says it. And so you both pretend. You both act normal, but deep down, you know something is not what it used to be anymore. And maybe it never will be. And that hurts because you don't just lose the person, you lose the memories, the inside jokes, the plans you thought you'd accomplish together. You lose the version of yourself that existed in that friendship. But hear me, just because someone drifted doesn't mean you weren't a good friend. Just because they pulled away doesn't mean you weren't loyal. Sometimes people separate from you because your path is no longer aligned with theirs. And instead of communicating that, they distance themselves slowly. It's easier than honesty. It's easier than saying, I'm in a different space now. I don't know how to show up for you anymore. I don't feel the same connection. So they fade. And you're left questioning. Let me ease your mind tonight. If you have to constantly question where you stand with someone, you probably already had an answer. Real friendship doesn't feel confusing. It doesn't feel like guessing. It doesn't feel like being tolerated. It feels real, effortless, secure. And if the distance has gotten loud, maybe it's not meant to be chased. Maybe it's meant to be acknowledged. Not every separation needs drama. Sometimes it just needs acceptance. You can appreciate what it was without forcing what it no longer is. And that's maturity. It's okay to admit we're not the same anymore. It's okay to outgrow dynamics. It's okay to release people who only have show up. And it's okay to mourn it. Because losing a friend could feel like losing a piece of your history. But don't beg for closeness where there's comfort and distance. Don't keep reaching if they stop extending. Don't keep shrinking to maintain access to someone who no longer values your presence. Friendship should not feel one-sided. And if it does, let the distance speak. Let it say what they want. Let it confirm what you've been feeling. And instead of fighting it, honor it. Because the right people won't keep you attached while keeping you separate. They won't keep you in limbo. They won't make you feel like an option in a bond that used to feel sacred. If something isn't what it used to be anymore, it's okay. You're allowed to close chapters quietly. You're allowed to grow apart peacefully. You're allowed to choose connections that feel aligned now. And one day, you'll look back without resentment, just understanding. Some people were meant to walk with you, not stay with you. And that doesn't erase what you had. It just means your journey continues without forcing what's already fading. This has been your quiet storm. And if the distance has been loud lately, maybe it's time for you to listen.